nighter again. He's going to celebrate school record 15 wins. It's going to be disappointing, but they will celebrate after the game with this squad and this town. But Bell Vernon, a big win. It is tough to get back 2 years in a row, let alone win it twice. And they've done it. The Leopards have just one loss this season to 4A powered Thomas Jefferson, and it's a 38-7 win and their 13th win of this season.
You know, going into the state championship, obviously we want to win. It's not a moral victory, and unfortunately for us, we ran into a really good Bell Vernon team, and you know, they just outclassed us that day. They had the best of us, and it was hard to take. You know, that was really on the chin there. You know, we had a 15-0 season going into that one, and you know, I think that the bus ride home and what transpired in the stadium following that helped to ease the pain a little bit, and we were able to sit back and feel good about getting to a state championship, the first one in school history. And I remember on the bus ride home, I sort of said to the coaches, I said, you know, next year's probably going to be the toughest year we'll ever have to coach, only because we only had about 6 or 7 seniors. We knew we had a lot coming back, and how do you sort of get the mindset into our team's head that we got to do it all again, and it's not going to be easy, and the target's going to be, you know, on our back, and you know, there's not going to be any gimmies. You know, beating us will make any team season, and then you sort of take that and go into the off season and preach the message that we got to be at our best at all times. You know, we're going to be a team that everybody's going to circle on their calendar, and you know, we got to play our best all the time, you know, no matter who the opponent is. And our formula for success is pretty easy. You know, kill it in the weight room, get bigger, faster, and stronger, be dedicated to our workouts, to the summer lifting schedule, to the summer running program, to our 7-on-7s, and you know, we want to be energized when August hits, when we come into camp. And the kids, to their credit, did just that. Everything we asked, they did it, and they doubled down. And you know, that taste in their mouth that they had from the previous couple of years playing in the state tournament, being at the state championship game out in Cumberland Valley, all the media attention, it can really take you by surprise, all the attention and what you have to go through. It can get you sidetracked, unfocused, and I think that experience really helped us into this season. I was really impressed with how our team handled the success of the year before, staying you know, down to earth and mentally prepared to make a run at it again.
After that loss last year, walking off that field, we definitely knew something was special. You know, we've never been there before. Last year was the first year. So then going into the offseason, a lot of our guys, especially our upperclassmen, were like, hey, we have another great shot at this thing. You know, we just have to work extremely hard in the offseason and take care of business during the regular season, and we did that. And then as the season progressed, we just kept clicking and got better each week. So I think that was a big thing part of this year.
When we lost last year, it was a huge killer for us, but I think it overall just drove us to want to play even better into next year, because we knew we had something coming back from that previous season, and we knew that we were going to be back there and we were going to win.
Yeah, I think last year was a little bit more just surreal, you know, the first time we got out there, and you know, it was kind of one of those, like, we made it to the state championship game, and it almost kind of had that feel like we were just kind of happy to be there. And I really feel like starting immediately after that game, we just kind of, from the weight room on, we just kind of said, like, next year's our year. And honestly, everything we did kind of prepared us for that. From the things that we conveyed to the kids and messages we conveyed to the kids to the way they prepared and practiced, I honestly just think it was on everybody's mind, you know, and to reach that accomplishment is just unreal when you kind of, you know, have all those expectations and the weight of all that on your shoulders. You know, there was some adversity for sure, especially a little later in the year, but man, we battled through it, and it was just the cherry on top, so to say.
A 16-year-old boy died from his injuries. This comes almost a month after an accident involving a pickup truck in Lynn Township. The teen was a student at Northwestern Lehigh High School. 69 News reporter Sierra Janelle has the story.
State police say 16-year-old Tucker Westner died almost a month after falling from a pickup truck in Lynn Township. Loved ones say, quote, "There's no lack of love when it came to Tucker," end quote. And, quote, "He lived life to the fullest," end quote.
You know, a lot of people ask, why do you play sports? I think it takes a lot of time and, all this other stuff and the commitment. But really, we're trying to prepare these young kids for life. And we talk a lot about overcoming adversity within the sport of football, whether it's an injury or a loss or whatever the case may be. And, because the more adversity you go through, the more hardened you get and the more you're able to deal and cope with different things and try to rally together, whether it's mentally, physically, or from a team aspect, to use those skills for the rest of your life. And, lo and behold, after coming off the loss in a state championship, if that wasn't enough, real life hit, and it hit in a big way to our football team and our community. And it was an adversity type of thing that we discuss a lot in football. And to put it to the test in that regard, I think our kids handle it extremely well. They kept it in perspective. It's a game of football. This is life. And some of these kids were Tucker's best friends, and it was tough. But the whole team from top to bottom, including the coaching staff, really rallied around those individuals and the Tucker family as well. I can remember it, as vividly as anything. We met down in this very locker room as a team with our jerseys, and we walked up to the gymnasium in the auditorium where the funeral services were taking place. And it was tough. You had that lump in your throat, you had the tears coming down your cheeks, and but we could say we did it together, and we were there for the family. And we said from that particular point moving forward that we have an angel on our shoulders, and whenever times get tough in the game, we can keep in perspective that there's other stuff out there going on, and a lot of times you have 2 hours or 3 hours each and every day where you're spending with the team that you can forget about that stuff, and you can escape with sports, and we could escape reality of that tragedy through football. And there's no doubt that Tucker was with us every step of the way. There was little things, that happened and transpired that we could tell there was something bigger going on there. And again, the kids, that first game where we took the jersey out there, the officiating crew did an outstanding job, but running out with the flag and the 53 on it was something that this team this season will be remembered for. And he'd be a senior next year, so it's going to be another situation where he'll be in our thoughts always.
Yeah, I would definitely say that Tucker's passing brought us together more. We kind of became more of a team. Yeah, I mean, just losing a teammate like that, it just brings everybody together. We have to learn how to cope with our emotions together better.
Yeah, I think something that made us just really close was wanting to be with each other. I remember that day when we celebrated Tucker's life at the high school. All of us after, we went to Old Homestead and just, played around of golf, got our minds off things, and, after games, a bunch of the guys would come over to my house, sleep over before we had film the next day. So I think just wanting to be around each other all the time just gave us a better connection than other teams might have had on the field.
You're not going to really be able to replicate a feeling of losing a loved one or losing someone that's close to you. And I feel like we did a great job of coming together as a community, not just as a team. And before the game, the state championship game this past year, Coach Kolb, I remember it vividly, he said, last year after we lost, we thought that was the worst feeling in the world, but then this summer we figured out what it really was. Losing Tucker was probably the worst feeling. And it motivated us, it brought us together as a group. And I feel like we just embraced each other, and it turned out to motivate us, and we were able to accomplish something pretty spectacular this year.
Every year when we start off a new year, it's tough to try to replace the seniors that have graduated, and being able to get so far last year and only lose 5 seniors, it wasn't as bad trying to fit puzzle pieces in there to kind of fill in the gaps. And we had a lot of dudes coming back. We had pretty much a state player at each of the 3 levels.
I thought we were going to be a little bit weak at the linebacker position, not because we had bad players, but because we graduated 3 or 4 of the best ones we've had. And we just had players step up. And I think that's what can be said about this team is every time there was a question mark, somebody stepped up. And it wasn't the same person. It didn't matter who it was. It was, I'm ready because I practice hard, and I want to be the guy that makes plays. And I think what makes this team different is at every level we didn't have a weak spot, whether it's the D-line, the linebackers, or the secondary, or our front line, our front 5 working as one, to our skill guys on offense from quarterback to running back to wide receiver. Everybody was willing to do their part, and there wasn't a weak spot. So, I think when we got scouted, there wasn't a team that could say, hey, we think we can take advantage of this, or we can take advantage of that. It was, we're in for a long night, because Northwestern doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and they're really solid at every position, and somebody different steps up and make plays every single night. And we were able to do that throughout the regular season, and then every step of the way into playoffs, and that's why we were so dangerous. We could score points in bunches. Our defense could give the offense the ball in great field position. We had a record number of special teams touchdowns. So we were able to be really dynamic in all 3 phases and at every level in those 3 phases.
Our bar was set pretty high from last year's team. We didn't really know what kind of team we were going to be going into the season. We had a lot of holes to fill, a lot of key players, a lot of young guys had to step up. So it was kind of like a puzzle for Coach Snyder just to figure out who's going to go where and ultimately figure out how the team's going to be successful.
Yeah, since the season went so long last year, we didn't have a lot of time in the weight room, but this year was just something different for us. We had probably 20 guys in the 1,000-pound club. So I think this was one of our strongest teams we've ever had. I think what made us so close was just overall everybody played together for 10 plus years. Like, I know some of the people in my senior class, I played with them for 11, 12 years. So we just had a personal connection with each other. We knew how each other played, we knew how each other felt, and we knew how to bring each other up. When we lost Tucker, that was a huge part of the team. And I think that really brought us closer together, because everybody just bonded over him, and we never let his spirit die.
I think having 4 seniors on the offensive line definitely helped out a lot, because we've already played a lot prior, and bringing Colton Popp in, who was one of the players that didn't really play in the past, it was a lot easier for him because we had a lot of experience to help him out in that area. And Jeremiah coming in at center helped out a lot as well. He was a senior already, so he's been through all the playbook and all that stuff like that. So it was just an easy transition, and our communication was the key reason why we were good.
I feel like our group this year, we're winners, and we've been winners since we've been, young kids in the NYAA days. But all we've done since we've came up at this level is win. Especially this group this past season, we were just a bunch of winners, and we went out and proved everyone.
Having a back like Eli, you got receivers like Landon, Mason, Lagoe, Shane Humes. These are my best friends, and I've really built great relationships with these kids. And we love football. All of us think football 24/7 when we were in the season, and we just really wanted to win a state championship, get back to that game, and it really helped having these members on my team just really balling out and helping me look better, helping everyone else and the team look better.
Yeah, obviously I love our skill guys. All those guys, a lot of them were back, and Eli was, Mr. K football and all those accolades. But I'm a O-line and D-line coach, and Coach Humes has a kind of a saying before every game: we go as you go. And Coach Snyder, I've heard say, it starts in the trenches, and that's just my mindset. So I love those skill guys, but man, this is the strongest, probably the strongest offensive and defensive line we've ever had. They put a lot of work in the weight room. They were an intense group, and that was really the foundation. We were right up there, in terms of pound for pound, one of the strongest teams that I've ever been around. I can't emphasize enough the work that they did and the gains they made to kind of put us in that position.
Direction, and he can turn on the speed at a moment's notice. In the open to the 20, slips away, 15-5, touchdown. Evan Wagstaff goes 98 yards for the touchdown.
Throw underneath. It is caught for Wemble and a touchdown. Josh Wemble. Bollinger to the end zone for the touchdown.
Well,
It is Zimmerman into the second level and ahead of the field. The foot race is on. Zimmerman's at the 20, the 15, 10-5, touchdown. Eli Zimmerman.
Dump it off this side from Matson. Matson into the open, breaks the tackle. Landon Matson to the 30. Matson gets away from another guy, and he will take it for the touchdown. Zimmerman up the middle, he scoots through, and he's got a touchdown. It's a 6-yard touchdown run for Eli Zimmerman.
From the goal line, caught for a touchdown. Shane Humes, his third
touchdown. Straight drop, tons of time, goes deep, has Bollinger. Bollinger, 30, 20, 10, gun, touchdown.
The regular season went, fast. It went super fast, and I don't want to say any game's easy game, but one went to the next, and it was almost like this team was looking forward to the postseason so much that we were just overpowering teams, and it happened easily. We were, as a coaching staff, sort of waiting and looking for that opponent that's going to give us a game, that's going to give us some adversity, because we knew we were going to face it eventually. And the more times you can get your guys into those positions, the better you think they're going to respond the next time that they get there. And so Southern Lehigh, being undefeated going into week 10, which is unheard of around here in football because there's so much parity and things like that, we felt like going down there was going to be a great game. They were a good football team throughout the course of the season, and they had some really nice special players, and we felt like they had some revenge. There was sort of a revenge factor from previous outings against us that we knew we were going to get their best shot. We had a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. We had a couple turnovers.
And we are underway from Center Valley.
I think when we played Southern Lehigh, it definitely wasn't one of our best performances. We definitely could have played a lot better, but the way we just overcome how we played in the first half really showed how we were. We didn't give up, and we just stick with each other the entire game.
Now looking to throw, nothing there, and now will throw to the back part of the end zone, has a receiver for the touchdown.
That Southern Lehigh game definitely was not a great thing for us. We came off the bus pretty flat. A lot of us had some uncharacteristic things. I know myself, I fumbled the ball a couple times that game. And, things just weren't clicking right away. At their place, their new turf field, I think it was their senior night. Really, the crowd was packed. So, and honestly, there was another Colonial League championship. We were trying to go 4 for 4. My class won every year, so we were trying to get back that stage. And I think we just needed to kind of settle in a little bit. And Coach Snyder really emphasized that, like, hey, like we're going to get our big plays. We just have to make sure we take care of the small things first, and then the big things come with that.
Yeah, obviously we knew kind of coming into the season that we thought we were going to be able to kind of beat everyone up until that point. We knew that they were the best team we were going to face in the regular season. And I feel like we came in confident and probably a little bit too confident. But I got to give props to them. They played awesome. They played probably, their coach said they played one of their best games of the year against us. And I mean, it showed. They gave us a lot of problems up front.
Sands rolls out, and that one is intercepted. Far sideline.
We had also a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes, penalties. We fumbled the ball, I think, a couple of times. But I mean, you got to give it to them. They're a great team as well. They had a lot of weapons offensively. Defensively, they played really tough against us. And yeah, I just got to give them some credit for that game.
So a 27-yard field goal by Josh Wombold. Man, they almost get a piece of that one, but Wombold will drive it right through.
Yeah, the toughest opponent would definitely be Southern Lehigh if you're considering regular season, but winning a Colonial League and district championship is awesome. It's still championship games. Like basically the Southern Lehigh game, that was our championship game for the Colonial League. We won the gold for that. Win those gold medals, and ultimately when we're looking week by week, that's the main goal, is just win that week. And those are special weeks because it's championship week, so it's still awesome to win those championships along with the state championship as well.
So 4th and goal. And Wombo leads in front, and Zimmerman gets through to the 1, and that's it. A huge stop by Southern Lehigh. Huge.
Not real happy with the way we played and executed. We left a lot of plays out on the field. We were undisciplined. We didn't finish in the end zone. It's a surprise that we're even winning the football game. We got to get in the locker room, clean it up, and come out and play a better second half.
Rather than have a loss, we had to use our close wins as like ways to maybe start talking about the little things. We did it at halftime in the locker room at that Southern Lehigh game. And they played us very tough. In years past, we've kind of said we always have the physical edge over them, and it played out that way on the field. This year they were very physical. They did a pretty good job of bottling up our run game. They moved the ball a little bit offensively, but a big play in that game was, we had a 4th and goal, I think, from the 2, literally the play before halftime. And if we score at 17-0 and we get the ball coming out, they held us, and then they got to stop in the second half, and that flipped the whole game, and now we're in a dogfight. But I think that moment kind of told our team that, we can win these close games, and we're in a dogfight here. And I think that second half of that Southern Lehigh game was a true test, and I don't think any of us knew how good Southern Lehigh really was at that point. They had lost to Blue Mountain earlier in the year, but looking back at it, they were pretty good. They made it all the way to the state semi and lost to the eventual state champion. So that tells you how good they were. And I think we needed that. I don't know in the moment we would have said that, but looking back at it, that was big for us.
Well, when we played Southern, I believe it was 0-0 after the first quarter. We punched one in late in the second quarter. We were able to pick off a pass and get it down into their territory, and I believe we got stuffed right before half. We're behind the 8 ball a little bit. I mean, that was the closest score it's been all year, and we knew they had a pretty good team. So I think when we came out of the half, they returned the kickoff really far to like the 10-yard line and then punched it in. So it was like, all right, these seniors wanted to play a full game. We're going to play a full game. So it showed a lot of our kids, being able to get back up and fight back and do the things you need to eventually try to win a state title. And Southern Lehigh's got some dudes down there. They're a 5A team. They got a lot of players to pick from, and when you're able to go down there and win a league title on their turf, that's memorable.
We're being tested. We know we can handle this test. On his own, flying through and in for the touchdown. 9 yards is Mason Bollinger. Northwestern regains the lead.
Great moment for Bollinger to come up with that in that key moment.
We had an opportunity to score the football going into halftime, and it would have been a 17-point game at half. Instead, they get a goal line stand. They come out of halftime, get a good kick return, and punch one in and make it a one-score game. And, they had the momentum. It was the first time all season any team has really taken the momentum from us, especially that late in the game. So I was excited to see what we were going to do and how we were going to respond. And, we just settled right in, like mature, experienced football players. And as the second half rolled on, we were able to wear them down. We were able to make plays. We were able to stop them from making plays. Securing that victory and securing our fifth straight, Colonial League championship was where we expected to be. And I think that gave us a lot of confidence moving right into the District 11 tournament.
And they'll attack the ground. And Eli Zimmerman off to the races. Zimmerman down to the 10-5 touchdown. 71 yards for the touchdown.
A win is a win is a win is a win against a good ball club. I think it's the fact that we can overcome self-inflicted wounds. Man, did we really hurt ourselves a lot tonight. Credit Southern Lehigh for making a lot of plays. Hey, we're happy to bring the Colonial League Championship back to New Tripoli. Went 10-0 and undefeated again, which was a goal of ours, and to do it on Southern Lehigh's turf makes it a little bit more sweet. They played a heck of a game. They got a lot of playmakers, and for the most part, they're a pretty young team, and happy for the victory. We're going to build on it and get ourselves ready for the district playoffs.
I think Lehigh Stadium is our home away from home. I mean, both district title games the past 2 years of both of these teams really, we imposed our will from the jump. I mean, going back last year, you had Matt Mahalik, arguably one of the best football players in the state of Pennsylvania, now at Lehigh, and we just had our way with Pomberton from the jump. The game was essentially over by halftime. Now we're at Lehigh this year, and there's a buzz around it. A little bit small rivalry there with our Schuylkill League neighbors up there. Wally Hall's just a fantastic coach, always has his kids ready to play. And there's a certain level of toughness.
A couple things are going through your mind as a coach. A, it's not easy to beat a team twice. B, they have some decent athletes. They have a nice line, and they're a team that prides themselves on being physical, and they played on quite a bit of district championships over the last decade or so. So you want to prepare your team for every scenario you have, and they did have a couple of injuries. But aside from all that, I knew our team, and I knew their personality, and I knew what our goals were at that point in time. And we just needed to check that box off. And our kids going through that week, they knew to get back to the state championship, they need to win a district championship. And we had a great week of practice, and we hit the ground running. I think we scored touchdowns on our first 5 or 6 possessions, and the game was over. The game was over, and it's what sort of I expected. I expected us to come out and play a clean game, be physical, be dominant, and look forward to playing the District 12 champ in the first round. And I was proud of our team. It's not easy to win. That was our 3rd straight district title. It doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen that often at all in District 11. There's just too many good football teams. So, the run that we're on currently is for the ages. It's something that are built on dynasties, you might call it. And we're proud of the program and proud of our team, but we weren't done with that win, and we were just gearing up for what we felt like was going to be another push into the state tournament. Hey, this is about us. It's about us in this locker room, nothing else. We need to remember who we are. We're the two-time District 11 3A district champs. You got an opportunity tonight to go even further. 8 school districts have been able to win 3 straight. In the history of District 11 championship football league. And we'll be number 9 tonight. It's not going to come easy. There's a lot of talented teams out there. A lot of talented individuals out there. So what separates them? What separates one good team from another good team? I can tell you this much, it's not about talent or what you're capable of. It's about what you're willing to do. It's about what you're willing to give. Will, fellas, is an extraordinary thing. Having the will to do something overcomes talent. It overcomes God-given abilities. It's about want to. But what are you guys willing to give? Are you willing to be disciplined? Are you willing to play for each other? Are you willing to go and give relentless effort for 48 minutes? Extraordinary effort, every play, every snap. What are you willing to do? That's what separates good from great. Not talent, not because we kicked their ass up and down the field the first game. Are you willing to do it again? Are you willing to do it for us? Do you have the will to win? Let's go find out. Let's go, let's go!
We prepared like it was our last game every week. Going into that game, I remember specifically, like, we played them already before in the regular season. So they had film on us, we had film on them. So, we just had to take care of what we could do and run our things, how we run them. And then that's how we were going to win the game. And in that game, you saw that. We just controlled the line up front. Our defense was locked down as usual, and then our offense just went from there.
Yeah, I think North Schuylkill had got our attention from the earlier game. Actually, that was the only time we trailed all season. We were actually down to them 7-0. And I think that got our attention in that game and kind of woke us up, and we went on, including the, I hope my math is right here, but including the district championship. I think we scored 85 straight points. We ended up beating them 49-7 in the regular season, and I think it was 36-7 or something thereabouts, but they scored a late touchdown. So I think that was all the focus our kids needed. They got a little bit of a wake-up call. They had a 60 or 70-yard run, and that woke us up, and we played our best. We seemed to play our best in those district playoffs, like you said, going back to Palmerton the previous year, and the rest is history.
I think we prepared as normal, as if everybody from North Schuylkill was going to play. So we watched the first game, what things they took advantage of us on, and tried to fix that. Play good defense, force them to throw the ball if they have to. And then hopefully we could do enough on offense to win the game. And I think it was very windy that day, so they couldn't throw the ball. I don't think we could throw the ball much either. But again, we had Eli. Eli kind of took over that game late, and we were able to win that district title for the 3rd year in a row.
Right years later.
Lehigh with the ball, trying to follow Zimmerman. He'll cut up the middle a little bit, gets across the 30. Now he's still going. Bastos from tacklers across the 50. He may be gone. Shane Lay will go in for a long touchdown of 73 yards. And Northwestern takes the early lead.
All the offensive statistics that are out there, one of the things that sometimes gets overshadowed is the defense. This defense was unbelievable from the number of yards that they did not allow. They just shut teams down to their turnovers, they played assignment defense better than any team I've ever seen at Northwestern Lehigh. It might not show up in the stat category, but if this guy's in his spot, that means this linebacker's coming across and making the play, and then they gang tackle. I wouldn't want a game plan against Northwestern Lehigh's defense. They came at you, and man, did they fly to the ball. I mean, some of those guys on defense, the amount of film study and understanding what that offense is going to throw at them. Sometimes I think our defense knew what the offenses were going to throw at us better than that offense knew.
We have to hit him early. We got to hit him often. This game is for us. Let's go 3 for 3. Let's go 3, 1, 2, 3. Go!
Yeah, what Coach Schneider likes to emphasize is pound the rock, and I think that we get that done really well. Great linemen like Breyer, Jerry, and Jared, and they get it done up front, and that's what allows our backs to do what they do. And we just keep grinding and then just keep pushing the ball.
PIAA District 11, my honor and privilege to crown you the PIAA District 11 3A champions.
Some teams are dying to win one. Two's tougher. We're in some pretty good company here. Over the last 50 years of football played in the Valley. Three-peat chance. All right, 12-0. Mission 2, check it off. Mission 2, check it off, on to the next. State tournament, let's enjoy this one. All right, enjoy the medals, you guys earned it, deserved it. Played a great game of football all year long. Here we go, district champs. Grab a hand. 53, 1, 2, 3, 53.
Another district medal never gets old. Framer 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're very, very lucky here at Northwestern Lehigh. We have a strong community base, and if there's ever an issue, there's someone out there that's just one phone call away, willing to help. Again, they really support our programs, academically and athletically. You know, you don't have to look very far. Come on a Friday night to one of our football games and see our stands packed to the gills. Some folks just come to eat concession stand and break bread with their neighbor and then go home, and they might catch it on the radio or watch it on TV. Some stay for the entire experience. Rain, snow, sleet, freezing cold temperatures. You know, we went up to Berwick, and it was, you know, single-digit temperatures with a wind chill that was below zero. Our stands were full. So again, it takes a ton of community support. Our community gets it too. They know that their investment, whether it's their time, whether it's their financial support, you know, whether it's, you know, allowing us to use their facility for something. Again, they get it. They get that it's an investment in our community, an investment in our future. And one of the things is it's tough to find a house in Northwestern Lehigh, mainly because people don't leave. You know, and student athletes and students in general, alumni who have since graduated college, are looking to get back in, and it's tough. So, you know, I think that's a testament to this school, this community, that, you know, people are always looking to come back and plant their roots back at Northwestern Lehigh.
I live an hour away. I live an hour south in Lansdale, so I travel every day to come here, and you know, it's been an experience getting to understand New Tripoli and the Northwestern Lehigh community. It's been a blessing for me as well. They are so supportive. They are there for every game. They are there on our broadcast. They listen every time, and they have been supportive of the team, the coaching staff, us, broadcasting, everyone in the media, and boy, I tell you what, they really do come out. You get the Tiger Tank out there, you get all the fans showing up and celebrating and having a fun time and supporting their team. And it's been really eye-opening from the first game that I broadcast on Penn Sports Radio for Northwestern Lehigh up until now. It's just been so much fun to get to know a lot of these people in the community, and they've really welcomed me big time, and they are just a great support to the athletic program in general, but they were there from start to finish of this football season, and they made it known. They were loud and proud the whole season long. For whatever reason, you know, Northwestern, we're in this little pocket of territory up here, and you know, we're out in the sticks and Corn Cob High, and you know, we hear it everywhere we go with the tractors and the farming, and you know, I think that fits into what us as coaches. You know, we're motivators. We're looking for anything that we can to help motivate our team, and not that we don't take it personally either, because our life's work is here at Northwestern for most of us, and we sort of have a chip on our shoulder about proving that Northwestern can be a state power. We're homegrown kids that we grew up in New Tripoli. We go to Northwestern. We do it together, and we do it in our own little unique way. We can be the little guy and compete with the big boys. You know, we're not afraid to play anybody on any given day. Us getting to the state championship just wasn't enough. You know, it wasn't enough for us to be viewed as equals in the eyes of a lot of people, and you know, we're going to use that. We're going to use that as motivation to finally pull it off.
Well, it starts with practice. I mean, and the preparation we put in to each of our opponents is probably second to none. We put a lot of time in. And on the field, when we're out there till 6 o'clock every day, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, getting ready, these kids, you know, put the time in as well, watching tape. And when you have that together with the senior leadership and knowing they can get to that state title game and they're still missing something, you know, they want that state title. I mean, that was pretty much this senior group's the only thing they haven't done. They won district titles, they won league titles, they played in 16 games before in a season. The only thing they didn't do was win a state title. So, I mean, these seniors took us there.
State playoffs, we're all looking forward to it. The whole season was blowouts after blowout after blowout. So when those state finals came, we had that District 12 team, Conwell Egan, come into our place. You know, it was our time to shine. We wanted to show the state like what we were made of. All year we've been ranked behind Danville and Scranton Prep in the rankings, and you know, we were thinking we were going to play Scranton Prep, but before that game we just wanted to have a little statement win for us, especially at our home field. And you know, we really did that, and we came together as one, and I think we won 49-7 in the first round of districts, or first round of states, which we, against District 12 2 years ago, it was not that way.
Could the Tigers reach another state final? Well, that quest begins tonight. They're here for the third straight year. It's the PIAA first round between Northwestern Lehigh and Conwell Egan. Counterplay right. Zimmerman trying to get to the outside, slips a guy, makes a move, slips another guy. He will dart forward for the touchdown.
Yes.
Wow, he made one guy miss, did a little okey-doke on another, and he goes 18 yards for the touchdown.
Nice.
Lay came out. Humes takes it off the middle, right, past some blockers, lowers the shoulder, and he's in for the touchdown. Shane Humes with his second touchdown run. Zimmerman scoots up the middle, spins away, and then gets away. Zimmerman into the secondary and caught from behind by Johnny Osterberry. Humes will take the direct snap and run right, and Humes is going to get in again. He lowers the shoulder at the goal line. Shane Humes in from the 9 for his second straight touchdown. to Zimmerman. Zimmerman has it, and he will scoot all the way for the touchdown. He wanted Eli to begin with. It wasn't there. Eli found an opening, and Lay dropped it in the bucket. It's a 33-yard touchdown. He's going to punch it to the 7. Fumble, and Northwestern's going to get it. From the 16-yard line, play fake, Lay goes to the left side, has Madsen, touchdown, and a penalty marker is thrown at the end of the play. It'll be roughing the passer, but that will count. It's a 16-yard touchdown pass. From the 33, Eli up the middle, Eli to the 20, Eli breaks away, Eli will take it for a touchdown. Speed kills. Kimbrough throws, batted up in the air, and it's picked off. It was Humes who tipped it up into the air. Kern on the counter, slips away. Kern is going to take it for a touchdown. It's a 25-yard touchdown run for Seth Kern.
Yeah, the toughest challenge definitely was Scranton Prep. We knew that from last year after the 28-6 victory we had, that they were going to come out firing. They had a lot of guys back, a lot of starters returning, and that was definitely a game we had circled on our calendar. We played up at Berwick, new field for us, and we just had to go out and take care of business.
With Scranton Prep, we watching film, we thought they were better than what they were last year, so we knew we needed to step up because they had great players and a great run game, which is something that we prioritize. And their defense was tough as well, so we were really locked in that week to go against them and just make sure we didn't lose to them after beating them the year prior.
It's funny, and you can look at our board in the coaches room. We had our schedule up in preseason when two-a-days started, and we literally hit every single team all the way to Avonworth. We literally predicted who we'd play and what round we'd play them. And I think that goes to show how dialed in the coaching staff is. We're not necessarily new to these teams we're playing. We do have a pulse on what's going on in the East and what's going on around the state. If I had to say one team, I would say Scranton Prep. They were very physical. They were pretty fundamentally sound, and they just had tough kids all over the field, kind of like we do. So I feel like that was probably the toughest matchup. And if their quarterback would have played full game, it may have even been tougher.
just line them up across from us, and we're gonna, we're gonna give it our best shot, and our boys won't back down from anybody. And we sort of have our kids geared up to thinking that they can play with anybody, and it's not just a thought, it's a belief. Our kids believe that they're not playing second fiddle to anybody, and in fact that we're the team to beat. We go into every single game, trying to prove everybody wrong, and we'll take that as an underdog. We'll take that with our target on our back, but we're going out to prove it. If they can beat us, if they can outplay us, then hats off to them. But it's not going to be an easy out for them, and that's just our mentality. We're going to give extraordinary effort at practice to prepare us for a war on a Friday night, a Saturday afternoon, a Thursday night, whatever the case may be. That's the Tiger mentality that we take into every game.
From legendary Crispin Field in Berwick, it's the PIAA Class 3A quarterfinal between Northwestern Lehigh and Scranton Prep. Power alignment to the left. Humes tucks, Humes runs, Humes in. Touchdown, Tigers. Zimmerman wants to throw. Downfield wants Lagoe. He's got it at the 5-yard line. Got hit as he was making the catch.
It's a battle out here. They're a really good defense. We're not making every play out there that's to be had, obviously. Left some points on the board there. We get the ball coming out. Looking for a good drive and score and try to go up by 2 scores here. We're going to go back to the drawing board here and figure something out and come out on fire in the second half.
Away a high kick. Zimmerman's going to have to let it bounce. Now he takes it on the bounce at the 20. Spins away. Can he get outside? He has the wall out there. Look out. He's got the wall. Eli to midfield. Eli to the 40. Only Tellerico, the punter, to beat. And he will have his 6th punt return for a touchdown. Bartlett, one of the most competitive kids he knows, and he throws it. It's intercepted, picked off. It's Brady Zimmerman with his 3rd interception of the season, and how quickly it turns for the Tigers. Bollinger across in motion. He has Eli Zimmerman behind him. Fakes to him. Lay throws to the end zone. Humes touchdown. Shane Humes with his 2nd catch for his 2nd touchdown, and the Tigers are up 3 scores.
Lead, take some time off the clock. No one's out there.
He left the man wide open on the far side. It's Lagoe for the touchdown. Or is he out?
No,
yes, he's in for the touchdown. Bollinger takes it. Bollinger runs left. Bollinger in. Touchdown! In all the history of Northwestern Lehigh, now they have had back-to-back 14-win seasons. Of course, last year of 15. They'll kneel one more time. That's it. And Northwestern will advance to the state semifinal. Danville and Northwestern Lehigh in the semifinal. Northwestern will win it 34-0.
Hey, it's a great team win tonight. Everybody did their jobs. You know, it's awesome in a shutout in a state quarterfinal.
Yeah, shutout. I don't even think they got over midfield once this game. Come and talk about that defense, how you guys really stepped up all night.
Yeah, all season, like I've been saying, Jared Meck, Briar Eckert, and Jackson Beaver have been anchoring it up front. You know, teams are going to have to start bouncing outside for other playmakers. You know, it's a recipe for success. I mean, again, shutout in a state quarterfinal game it's pretty awesome. You know, we're going to enjoy this, and then we're focusing next week on Danville.
Yeah, you got Danville next week in the semifinals. What's it mean to get back to that point in like 2 years?
Yeah, it's awesome. That's one of our big goals this year, but, you know, our job's still not done. Last year, we had a little heartbreak in the state final, so we want to get back there and hopefully win this thing this year.
Congrats to the win, Eli.
Thank you.
All right, Jared Mack, we'll talk to you now. You spent a lot of time in the Scranton prep backfield tonight. Tell me about that defensive effort you guys had.
D-line, it's effort every play. Whoever wins up front usually wins the game, and I think we won up front.
Back to the state semifinals against the #1 team in the state. Tell me about that.
I'm really excited. Hopefully we win it all this year. I don't want to have a silver, I want to have a gold.
Here with Josh Snyder now. Josh, defense just unbelievable again.
Yeah, really stingy, and you know that's nothing new for us. You know, our defense has played incredible all year, giving up less than 6 points, less than a touchdown a game. It's pretty easy to play offense when you know you can take some chances and your defense has your back. And you know they threw another gem tonight. And you know the first half wasn't necessarily pretty the whole time, but we regrouped and made a lot of plays in the second half. I thought we took control of the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball and made plays. You know, we kept them off balance, and it was a great second half and an awesome finish. And we're back in the Final Four.
Danville next week should be a tough test for you.
Absolutely, I think. Both of us have been up towards the top of the state ranking all year long. I'd be lying if we weren't sort of keeping our eye on them throughout the process. And here we are going to meet up in the Eastern Final.
Congratulations, Josh. Yep.
Appreciate it.
The toughest team we faced was probably, I would say, Danville, because they had playmakers all over the place, similar to us. They had a great quarterback, a great running back. They had some pretty good receivers too, and they were tough on the defensive side of the ball.
And you know, again, Danville had a good quarterback, good receiver, good running game, very solid. And when you get to that point, you're playing teams that are multi-talented and have a lot of different ways to beat you.
I think Danville in the state playoffs, they were a tough team. They had a great defense and a great offense, so they were kind of tough to shut down, but we still ultimately, in the end, kind of dominated them. We won by 3 scores, I think.
Experience is you can't teach it, you got to live it. And I think you know the 2023 season gave our guys a lot of experience in terms of knowing what to expect, knowing how big the stage is. And this season, these games weren't too big for our kids. You know, we went business like in each and every game, and you know, District 12 came up, and we dealt with them pretty quickly and in a big way. And
I think the hardest game before our state playoff game was probably Danville. They showed stuff that we haven't seen before, like passing the ball. Teams in the Cleveland League don't do that as often as they did, and it just prepared us more for Ironwood. Even though they didn't throw the ball as much, it just showed us a different aspect of the game, what we're not used to before. So I think that was the hardest team, especially going up an hour drive, having to play in the cold. It was just another hard game that we had to get through.
It is the game everyone has wanted all season. Since the first polls came out, the Ironmen and Tigers have been the top 2 teams in Pennsylvania. And finally, they meet in the state semifinal. Tonight, it is a big one, and George, the game that everybody has been looking for. These 2 teams have been either 1-2 or 2-1 all season in every poll you've looked at.
Yes, and, you know, I got to be honest, we've been looking forward to it, too. You know, we were checking to see scores earlier in the year, and, yeah, this is exciting. It's football weather, and it should be a good one.
from Crispin Field in Furwick. It's the PIAA Class 3A semifinal between Northwestern Lehigh and Danville. And runs, gets a block on the corner, slips away, gets a block downfield, and he will take it in for the touchdown. It's a 17-yard touchdown run for Shane Lay. Into the backfield, he'll look for a block play, or no, this is Zimmerman who took the direct snap. He'll cut back. Eli Zimmerman will take it the distance for a touchdown. It's a 92-yarder for Eli Zimmerman.
They're getting the ball coming out. We wanted to go up by 2 scores. We'd like to punch it in there, but their defense is pretty good. They're flying around, making a lot of plays. It's a heck of a ball game. Got to win the second half. Feel like we probably should have scored a couple more touchdowns. It didn't work out that way. We'll talk about a few things and sustain drives, keep playing our hearts out on defense, and give it a shot here in the second half.
Straight drop, he's flushed, pulls right, steps up, fires right, is intercepted by Eli Zimmerman, and he has some blockers out there. Eli down the sideline, Eli to the 20, Eli will make away from the guy, and he'll take it for a touchdown. Wow. Believe it or not, that is the first interception return for a touchdown this year for Northwestern. It is their 21st interception and the 6th this year for Eli. They're going to make it. Patrick rolling right, the average cover. He's going to get there. He's going to run. Will he get to the end zone? No, he didn't get there. No, he did not get there. He's knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And now fumble the football. He tried to pull it out and keep, and it's fumbled and recovered by Brady Zimmerman. Wow. Zimmerman bounces outside. Eli to the 20. Eli to the 10. He's going to be pulled down from behind inside the 5-yard line. On the give, Kern, touchdown. They go 97 yards after the fumble recovery. And they take another knee, and that will do it, and Northwestern Lehigh will win it and go on to the state final for the second straight year.
I mean, yeah, line played great. Eli runs good as usual. We just took care of business.
It seemed like you guys were like one step ahead of them. They kept coming back fighting, but you guys kept them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with all of our experience, we know not to give up after one play. I said before the game they're going to make plays, but we just have to bounce back.
You get back to the state final for the second straight year. Tell me how exciting that is.
I mean, it's obviously very exciting. We feel like we're in a better spot this time, though. We were a little bit surprised that we got there last year, but now we know we're built for this, and we're going to bring it back home, hopefully.
All right, thanks a lot, Briar. We're bringing Eli Zimmerman, a record-setting night, 347 yards on the ground for you. You get the pick six. It's been a while since you had one of those, but great night for you and a great team win here, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, all week we had a great week of practice, great game plans going in. Everybody did their assignments tonight, even though some things were shaky at some times. We still played great football, and, we just run the ball hard, and, the line has a great job up front. It's just a great team win.
But like I said to Briar, that was a great team you guys just played there in Danville, but you guys just seem like you're a little bit ahead of them all night.
Yeah, I mean, Danville was great. We watched them on film all week. They have some great players over there, like Bo Sheptalk, great runner. Their quarterback's a great player, too. Number 7's awesome. So, it's just a great team win. We all had to do our assignments, and, we got the job done.
Did you guys expect to win this game and get back to the state championship?
Yeah, I mean, our mindset all week was we're the better team, We know what we want to do, and we just have to out-execute them, outplay them, and I think we did that tonight.
Congratulations, Eli, on a great game.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a feeling all season long with the personnel that we had coming back, with the experience throughout the tournament last year, getting there in our first time in school history, that it was our destiny to get back there with these kids, with this group of coaches, with this school and this community. It wasn't easy getting here. We were the favorites throughout the whole tournament, all season long. That's not easy to play with that on your shoulders, and these guys didn't care. They came out and played their best game each and every week, and they did that against tonight against a great Danville football team. I'm so excited for our kids, our town, our community, and New Tripoli.
Yeah, going into the state championship week, I think everybody had some mixed emotions. A lot of people were thinking about last year. Some people were thinking about, hey, it's a new team, new season, let's go win the thing. And then some of us were just taking it as business as usual. I think that was the approach for most of the kids on the team, just taking it step by step, day by day, that whole week. And now on that Saturday, we just had to go out there and perform how we've been performing. It's been working all season, and why change it now?
Winning against Danville in the state semifinal for the second year in a row, winning that semifinal game, it was something else. I mean, a lot of our games, well, all of our games actually ended in celebrations. So it was awesome to go celebrate that win. We kind of just took that win that night, and then literally the next day, my mind was focused right on Avonworth. I started watching film, getting to know the team and kind of who we're facing, and my mind was set the day after on Avonworth. I had to celebrate the Danville game, but Avonworth, that was our goal. So I had to focus on that one.
Listen, you're not human if you slept really well the night before, okay? Now you come up to school, okay, on a Saturday morning, okay, and it's just packed. It's lined up with people all in the parking lots waiting to send your team off.
I'm not gonna lie, and just thinking about it, that's kind of an emotional thing. You see all these people, some of which you don't even know, out, supporting you, and it brings up some emotions for sure. And I think the year before we were a little bit consumed with our emotions. It was just one big emotional. We just kept going up the whole time. And then now we're at kickoff and they return it for a touchdown, and it's like all of a sudden you dropped 100 stories from this high you're on. This year I just think we knew. I think it was still emotional, and we appreciated the support and loved the community. But I think it was also all right, we're past that. We got a game to play, and let's go win it.
I said a couple of times, I don't know if the community, if that feeling wore off, but I'm here to tell you, we're getting to state championships
doesn't wear off in this community, because the outpouring of support was even more. It was even bigger. I don't know if that had to do with the feeling of winning a boys and girls state soccer championship a couple weeks before, that we were going to do something special, not only as a football team but as a community. Winning 3 state championships in a fall season is ridiculous, and from the parents to Zim, the AD, and everything that was handled by our booster club to try to prepare meals and try to prepare breakfast, to try to prepare the busing out there, and the lineup of people, not only here at the school, down 309 and then off of 143, overpasses, and all the way out to Harrisburg. There's some alums that own businesses, and they had their Tiger gear out, and it becomes overwhelming. It comes, that stuff doesn't get old. It doesn't get old, and the kids on the edge of their seats looking out the window, seeing their parents, friends, and community all lined up for them. And not only for them, for what they were accomplishing. And you talk about sports and you talk about football and how that brings a community together is just unbelievable. And I'm so glad that our football program has got to experience that. And we were really excited to head out early in the morning, to get to Cumberland Valley, to soak up all that atmosphere, all the media attention. Our kids were really ready.
Fellas, I'm a firm believer that everything in life happens for a reason. I'm going to share with you guys a couple things that I believe in, or that I believe in. I believe that we made it to the state final last year for the first time in school history and lost. I believe that was for a reason. I believe that every person sitting in this room, from the coaches, to the players, to the managers, to the trainers, to the doctors, are sitting in here as part of the 2024 Northwestern football Tigers for a reason. I believe that we lost a brother, a son, a teammate, far too young for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but it sure as hell looked like he's with us every week, every step of the way, as an angel on our shoulders. He's with us now. He's been with us for 48 plus minutes out on that field. I believe in what the coaches say. I believe that we're built different. I believe that this team is special. I believe that we're going to go out there and play the best game of our lives, the best game of the season, win a state championship, bring it back to New Tripoli, and forever be remembered as the best team that ever wore the black and gold. This one's for everybody that ever wore these colors. This is our time. This is our moment. Let's finish the job. Let's finish the job. Do it for yourself. Do it for your teammates. Do it for your family. And let's do it for Tucker. Let's fucking go.
the campus of Cumberland Valley High School as the Pennsylvania Cable Network this afternoon brings you the 3A PIAA Football Championship between the undefeated Northwestern Tigers out of District 11 and the 12-3 Avonworth Antelopes out of District 7. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Cumberland Valley High School on this somewhat gray Saturday afternoon. Along with Brandon Noble, I'm Doug Heater. And Brandon, you had a great game last night in the 5A championship. Today, though, old school football. Two teams that are very similar to each other and like to run. First of all, talk about the champs from District 11 in Northwestern. There's Josh Schneider, now in his 13th season, leading this team. He's a 97 Northwestern grad, 3 straight District 11 titles, his team making their second consecutive trip to the state championship game after losing to Bell Vernon a year ago. On 1st and 10, and there they go. Neal going to try to bounce it outside. Gets a nice block by Metz, and he's in. He's in for the touchdown. What an opening drive for the Lopes. The run is 18 yards, and they are on the board. Over the middle, and did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Go right up the middle. Is he in? Yes, he is. Eli Zimmerman's 36th total touchdowns this season. Here's Seth Kern. He is 2 for 3 in PAT this season, and it is good. 7-6 Northwestern, 5:11 to go. He'll get the first down, and he's in the secondary. Lowers the head. Look at that run. And he will get in for the touchdown. Do they mark him in? Yes, they do. That is a tremendous run by Luca Neal, his second touchdown today. Fake toss over the middle. Bollinger. Oh, it's what? It's going to be Legoe. Bollinger comes back to the right. Leigh looking to throw. Throw back over the middle. There's Humes. Wide open touchdown. Nicely done. Here comes Kern, who was good on the first one. And he'll boot through the second. And the Tigers are back in front, 14-13. Around the 17-18, so it should be about 28 yards. And he splits the uprights to give the Lopes the lead back at 16-14. This one a 2-point lead for the Lopes, and they'll kick off with 2:44 to go. Once again taken. This is Seth Kern, and he's got a seam, and now he's got an alleyway down the sideline. Takes a player miss, and he'll be taken down by Valceres. Great field position for the Tigers. They've got all three of their timeouts. Here's Leigh. Cut back, falls forward, be shy of the first down, but he's at about the 3.5. This will be a season long. This hold is down. Kick is up, and it is through. How about that for Kern? A season long for Seth Kern, and a great opening half here from Cumberland Valley.
Once we got into the locker room at halftime against Avonworth, there was definitely a lot of messages going around. Coach Humes was yelling one play at a time. Coach Snyder was coming in saying, "We're in this, baby." And we definitely made a few changes to help us win that game in the locker room, and I think it was very beneficial for us.
Yeah, we were definitely confident. I remember during the halftime, like our biggest struggles, like offensively, we were doing really well at the time, but on defense, we were struggling against their Wildcat formation, like their identity to run the ball. We were struggling to tackle number 4, which was a key element of the entire game in general. But yeah, we were definitely confident during halftime, but at the same time we knew we needed to step it up a little bit because they weren't going to play like how they did in the first half. So yeah, just confidence, but at the same time, like we need to stay locked in. We need to win this.
Yeah, it was completely different from the previous year. The previous year we were down 21-7 and we had a chance to score, and we got stuffed on the 1-yard line a couple times, and we didn't, and we walked in there, it was just very somber, and it was kind of like, oh geez, we're gonna have to pump these guys up like it's before the game again. This past year, everyone was really upbeat. Everyone was dialed in. We got on the board, at halftime and talked through some things. And you could just, there was just a vibe that you could just tell that, not only are we not going to go away, but I like our chances to win. And it was just completely different from the year before in the locker room at halftime for sure.
We normally meet a few minutes at halftime every week and talk to the coaching staff what's going right, what's going wrong, and we didn't get many stops. All right, we were doing the things that we thought would work, but they weren't. So we thought maybe we could try a few different things, try a new blitz or two, get some different personnel on the field, and being 17-16, I believe at halftime, and we're still in the game. The year before, I think we were down 2 touchdowns, so we're a little behind. We'd never been there before. I mean, we were there before, so. We regrouped the seniors. They were there, ready to go, and when we got back out, we got a couple stops finally.
I mean, I remember at halftime, everybody was kind of in good spirits. We had a 1-point lead. Things weren't going our way on both sides of the ball, but it didn't really seem to matter. So, we just had to keep sticking to the script, keep playing ball, and just competing. I think that was a big thing. We came out hot out of halftime. Got like a two touchdown lead, I think, but then they punched back, and that's what's going to happen in the state championship game. You got the 2 best teams in the state going at it, so there's going to be back and forth play.
It was definitely more staying with our game plan, but being better at what we were doing because we were making a lot of mental mistakes, getting too many penalties. But we knew if we changed that, it could be a different outcome than only 1 point.
Yeah, I think it was more, we were kind of feeling confident. We were confident in ourselves. We were up by 1 at halftime, so there was no reason not to be confident, especially offensively. And then defensively, they had, I think they had 2 big plays on 3rd down that kind of kept them alive. So we were also confident on the defensive side of the ball. But we knew it was going to be a dogfight, and we knew we just had to keep playing hard and, yeah, just fight till the end to hopefully get the W.
Yeah, offensively, we were doing really well that first half. We were getting our pass game involved. We were getting some good runs, and we were really clicking on offense. And we just kept trying to do the same thing in the second half. The only thing we really needed to change was our defense. They had a tough wildcat formation with a very good back, Luka Neal, number 4 for them. He was playing very tough, and we could not stop it. So that was the ultimate goal at halftime, was just to stop them. And we'll be in the race for winning the state championship if we stop them. But yeah, just overall our defense needed to fix that, and everything else was fine.
motion. Hand it off to Zimmerman on the read again, and here he goes. Into the secondary, down to the 29. Motion. Run that way, up over, and he's in. He's in. What a jump by Eli Zimmerman. Again, I mean another. Took it. Zimmerman stole it from him. First turnover of the game, and he actually, I mean, that is stealing the football. Downfield over the middle for Humes, who's had 2 big catches in this game now as the tight end. Down to the 15. Resets to the left. Little reverse to number 10. He's got leg in front. Can he get to the corner? Oh, he's taken down at the 1. They got Meck in the backfield, 52. Humes has it. Touchdown Tigers. In for the PAT, it is through.
It was just one possession for each team. That's it. This is it here. Like, it just all came down to one thing. And I remember telling myself, like, this is probably like the last 10 high school plays I'll have in my entire life. So might as well put it all out there. And yeah, just making sure like we did it for Tucker. Coach Snyder's pregame speech about that had us all like ready, focused, willing to win.
So 4 quarters of football, not enough. That's fine with us.
Northwestern Lehigh has won the toss, and they've elected to go on defense to start the overtime procedures. Gentlemen, shake hands.
Takes the jab step, nowhere to go. Humes, another big stop.
I was blitzing on that particular play. They ran like a counter look, and I was able to kind of run it down from the backside. Like, they didn't really touch me at all, so I was able to kind of get a clean shot on the ball carrier, and I was able to make a play behind the line of scrimmage. So I'm just glad we was able to make that play on the first down, get him behind the sticks a little bit.
Left side, he's going to throw it. No, tucks it, and he fumbles a football. They're going to say, oh man, they're going to say incomplete pass.
That stop was huge. We were definitely looking for a stop-all game like that, and to get it in the biggest part of that game felt great. After we walked off the field getting ready for offense, I knew that we had a shot to win this thing. I think we all did. We were all confident. Coach Snyder pulled out a play that we just put in a couple weeks ago, and we've had success running it in practice, so it was just our time to go out and execute that play.
And both of these staffs have been prepared for what play they want to run or defend. Zimmerman back there with Bollinger. Going to run a counter. Can Zimmerman get to the corner? He bounces outside. Touchdown! And the Tigers win it on one play.
When they stopped Avonworth from getting in the end zone as close as they were, that was a moment when we kind of looked at each other and said, you know what, Northwestern, I think, is going to score on this possession. And for it to happen the first play was incredible. And, if you go back to the call that we made, myself and John, and you heard Gio on the sidelines, pretty much called it before I did, which was a lot of fun to hear again.
Eli will get the snap, make a pitch.
There he goes!
Right side, across the
bang! 5, cuts back in, touchdown Northwestern!
The Tigers have won the PIAA 3A football championship, beating Avonworth 36-33.
There's no way they were going to stop us 4 downs in a row from scoring a touchdown. Lo and behold, it took us 1. It took us 1, and the rest is history. But to see Eli scooting to the end zone, half the team went over to the stands and the other half onto the field, and there was a lot of madness and excitement, to say the least. And I'm hobbling around the football field because I tore my calf a couple weeks before in celebration, and what jubilation! It's just a culmination of a lot of different football players coming through, a lot of different coaches, a lot of time, blood, sweat, tears, and energy, culminating in a state championship, and all that sort of going through my mind, and the families and my family, and all the commitment and the time that it takes to get to this spot, to finally break through. No one will ever be able to take that away from us. We'll be state championships till the end of time, and that's sort of all running through your mind in a split second. To get the team back together and to sort of take a deep breath and to just live in the moment was just absolutely amazing.
I think after Eli scored, I was crying a little bit, but players came over me. I was just hugging everyone that you see. Just a great feeling overall. You look up and you see kind of everyone going nuts in the stands, and it's a great feeling personally, because you're able to bring joy to all those people, especially to this community that we love so much, and that's so small and tight-knit.
I think I was like just standing still, honestly. Like I couldn't believe it.
And that was probably one of the coolest moments of my life, is all the butterflies going through my stomach, even after the game, just watching Eli walk in for that touchdown, and we're jumping up and down, celebrating, hearing the song Celebrate Good Times playing, and it was awesome. I mean, I could not have imagined a better way to end a state championship football game.
Man, words cannot explain, listen, from an AD standpoint, from the emotions that were going through my body were just, it was unbelievable from an AD standpoint, from a dad standpoint, not just Eli and Brady. Like, one of the things we talk about this community, guys like Dave Hausman, Chris Lakatosh, Rob Bollinger, Dak Krimmel, we've been coaching these guys their entire lives, okay? And so they're not only, Eli and Brady are on the team, all those guys is everybody's sons. That's what's cool about this place, is that you got a bunch of dads and moms in this community always looking out for you, and you love them like they're your own. I thought what was really awesome, which made you now proud as an athletic director, was immediately they went and celebrated with the community. The community that made the 1.5 to 2 hour trek out to Cumberland Valley in the middle of winter to pack those stands, that's who they wanted to go celebrate with.
But we're definitely never going to be forgotten, especially in the record books, going 60-0. And I think our overall season, like stats for the seniors, was 55-6. That's just never been done before in Northwestern history. So it's just fun knowing that we won, and it's extremely awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something cool. Everybody on this team, coaches, everybody involved with this team this year is going to remember it. To win in overtime fashion in anything, regular season, playoffs, state championship, is awesome. But in the biggest stage with the brightest lights, it was definitely a really cool feeling for all of us, and we're always going to remember that. I don't think it's going to set in for a little while for us just to realize like what we actually did is something extremely special, and be one of 3 of the teams at the Northwestern High School this year to win a state final. It's a crazy feeling.
There, it's a blur for me. Like, I just remember running onto the field and pretty much embracing anyone and everyone I could. I remember the next day I listened back to Tony's radio call on Penn Sports Radio, and that was amazing. A lot of tears, happy tears, I will say that, and a lot of embraces, and Josh and I in particular, we've been, we played here too. We were freshmen in 1994. So our roots run deep in Northwestern football. So it was just kind of that, like, you didn't know if you'd ever be able to do it. So to get there one year and then win it the next, man, that just, I still don't have words for it. Just amazing.
Northwestern's been a part of my life for a long, long time. My father obviously was the head coach here for 28 years, I believe, all the way back to 1981. So to be part of this group that got this done for this community and for this team and for this school is just something you won't forget. I feel like the whole town of New Tripoli was down here accepting us back into the parking lot. When we got off that bus, it was louder than if they were in the stadium when the kids were playing the game. So to have everybody here and have the support, been coaching and teaching for almost 20 years. A lot of the kids I started coaching now have kids on the team. So to have that small town community feel and everyone to be, have your back, it's very cool, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Getting it done for a community that showed up for us every single week, packing out this stadium, it just felt good to do it for them, do it for Tucker, and just everyone that supported us throughout the way.
So whenever we win a game, I think it's more so fun and games for us in the locker room. We play this one ridiculous song, and it's just a bunch of beats. We've been playing it for every single game we've won ever since I first started here. And I think it just gets us really hyped up in there, and it's just overall fun. There's people dancing, people struggling to move in there. It's just an overall fun environment after we win a game in the locker room.